So recently I have had a fascinating discussion with one of the people that I coach. She's a UX designer for an agency and was asking about how she should handle situations where she believes terrible decisions are being made. She struggles to strike that balance between speaking up and knowing when to accept defeat graciously. And it's a topic that I've touched on tangentially a while back, but I wanted to discuss it more directly today because I believe it's something that a lot of us struggle with, how to get that balance right. It's certainly something that I struggle with myself. There are those people who lack confidence and so don't speak up, and then there are those who need to learn to keep their mouth shut and let things go. And I'll let you guess which of those two categories I fall into. But today, I want to mainly look at that latter category, knowing when to keep your mouth shut, knowing when to accept defeat. See, I've learned over the years that I don't know as much as I think I do, and any decision probably includes many factors more than I'm personally considering. For example, the user experience must be balanced with factors like business objectives and return on investment. It's not always as simple as going with the best experience possible because if that was the case, then companies would just give away their products and services for free, which obviously doesn't make financial sense. Each stakeholder effectively comes to a project with their own perspective and their own understanding. Each will see their part of the puzzle, if you like. And so, as a result, disagreements are inevitable about what that overall picture is. As I've said many times over the year, I prefer to test in such situations, to resolve disagreements. However, it's not always possible due to time constraints or budget, or particularly the nature of the issue. You can't test everything. And that's where it falls to leadership to make the final call. And it's okay if you don't always agree with them. However, what we must do is learn to accept their decision, even if we disagree with it. Now, does that mean they will always get it right? Absolutely not, of course not. However, ultimately, a decision needs to be made, and out of everybody involved, they're the ones with the broadest perspective of all the different factors. Now, that said, we do have a responsibility in all of this too. Our responsibility is to communicate our opinions and our understanding of the impact on user experience as clearly as possible and backed up with as much evidence as we can gather. But it's also our responsibility to shut up and accept defeat if we fail to convince leadership. And I see a lot of people that will continue to argue, continue to debate leadership after they've made the decision. And that ultimately is just going to damage the project, undermine the relationships, and really is extremely unlikely to change the outcome. Now, that's not to say that you have to agree with the decision. Never say that you think something is correct that just because somebody else has said you should do. If you do that, then you're going to get sucked into the blame game if things go wrong. So instead, just agree to disagree and implement leadership's final decision with no more fuss. However, most of all, I would encourage you to be maybe a little bit more laid back about whether your clients or bosses implement your ideas or not. Your job is to present those options and give them your opinion with any supporting evidence. After that, it's down to them. If they reject your ideas, focus on getting better at communicating your opinions next time. Never take it personally. It's not a criticism of you as an individual. Ultimately, life is too short. And if you spend your whole time fighting with your colleagues and with management, you're going to spend most of it unhappy.